Okay, NickDutch again, hi. Now I'm going to talk to you about drugs. Let me start from the very beginning. I do not condone or recommend the methods of spiritual or supernatural or occult development assisted by drugs. I've tried it both ways, both with substances and without substances. And the one without substances is superior by far, without a shadow of a doubt, in terms of controllability, pleasure and enjoyment. But all I'm here to do is to share my experience, basically. When I was getting involved in the occult, I wanted to learn spiritual techniques, especially spiritual healing, as quickly as I could, because I was always in a race to get to a finish line. There's no race. Just bear that in mind, there's no race. One of the methods which I took was to use legal mixtures of herbs which you can buy from herbalist suppliers. Again, do not do this, because I've discovered that the toxic effects of the drugs can stay in your body for 3 to 6 weeks after having taken them, and therefore during that 3 to 6 week period you are in a slight altered state of consciousness and you are slightly mad. So it doesn't matter whether it's legal, it doesn't mean to say it's safe or it's practical or it's sane, and I'm very serious about that, okay? But this is just my journey, alright? This is part of my development from like 15 years ago or more. The substances I took were hops, damiana, catnip, and something called wild lettuce. And I took this in infusions, and I also took very strong infusions. And I took this in the form of, smoking it in either a joint-like thing or in a variety of chillum or hookah pipe. Initially I just started off with hops, and I took like 1/4 of an ounce of hops in a whole teapot, boil the lot up, steep it for 15 minutes, then drink the lot. The sensation after about 1/4 of an hour of taking it, it was a bloody bitter drink, I'll tell you that for nothing. Terrible. The experience I've had after taking it was that it felt like heat would sort of burn through my hands and burn through my arms and burn through my body. And it was just like lively, warm, energetic heat, and it felt really rather good. When experimenting with hops, I did try spiritual healing experiments with other people, and despite the fact that my hands were physically very cold, if I held my hands about that far away from the patient's body, they reported feeling lightning or heat or fire, and they always said, it's amazing, how comes your hands are so warm? And the fact of the matter is, the hops had changed me somehow, and I was sending spiritual energy, or whatever it is, out of my hands. That's just what happened. When I'd stopped taking the hops, even for a long, long time afterwards, people still reported feeling the heat, the light coming out of my hands. My experiments with the rest of the mixtures, which I did in equal proportions, was a little different. If I took enough of it, during certain times of the night, it would seem like the walls would melt away and I would see the stars and the moon through the walls. And other peculiar experiences, if I took enough of it, if I was just walking down a road, the road would seem to ripple, as if it was water, and I was wading through a water of cement and paving stones. Although it was quite interesting experiences, it did create a lot of paranoia, a lot of fear, and a lot of resentment, I guess, bitterness. Often after having taken the substance, many days afterwards. Initially, because of the damiana, it has this antidepressant effect which makes you feel happy and relaxed. Maybe it's the opiate effect in the wild lettuce, which is the addictive thing that makes you feel good initially, and then afterwards you get the craving or the withdrawal. But when taking a lot of this stuff and then doing ritual, the energy I seemed to feel, and I can only say I seemed to feel, when I was casting a circle or when I was invoking a spirit, became almost tangible. So it felt like I was touching the edge of the circle with the palm of my hand. It felt like I was drawing a almost solid plasmic star in the air when I was drawing the pentagram. that became a useful experience, so I could then remember how that felt when I'm doing a circle casting, so I could then draw the pentagrams, invoke spirits, invoke angels, and actually feel that they are there. Naturally, just because I can feel that they're there doesn't necessarily mean to say that there is an objective spirit or there is an objective circle in that particular area. It's just what I'm feeling. However, when we refer back to the spiritual healing experience when I was doing healing to other people when my hands were cold, and they felt tons of heat coming out of my hands, this electricity coming out of my hands, then we have to say that maybe there was something else there as well. We can't exclude the fact there could be something else happening on the basis of that experience, but it is just an experience. It isn't a positivistically proven experiment. However, maybe because I was using these perfectly legal herbal substances, that led to the decline I mentioned in my little redemption video. That it helped me to reach that level of decline. Since then, I spent 2 years bringing myself back into the real world, and I then rediscovered my magical art, and I've been practicing purely using prayer, meditation, chanting, and raising energy through breath control, which is proven by experience to be a superior experience by far, and seems to be more efficacious. It was fun and interesting to try the shamanic route, but now I've discovered something else. I would say that whether you're using drugs in a meditational healing, or whether you're using prayer, meditation and mantra, it is wise to take what you're seeing or what your mind is telling you to be true and use that as a real reality during that moment. Now, if I was to, during my normal day-to-day duties, my normal day-to-day life, believe everything that I have experienced and state that everything that I have experienced is 110% true and factual and all the rest of that, although I'm aware that I would find it impossible to live in this society in the here and now, which is why after every single occult action I choose to disbelieve so that I can then function as a normal human being. But if I did choose to believe that everything I'd experienced was real, I would say that firstly, there does seem to be higher powers who have some kind of vested interest in my survival, as if there's something which I have to do for other people. And there must also be other higher powers for everyone else, and indeed groups of people and organizations of people out there in the world. And thus through meditation, prayer and occult techniques that are used by practicing Christians and so on and so forth, to be able to contact these beings and try and work out what we're doing wrong and try and help us move on the right path of essentially goodness and right, the proverbial straight and narrow path. I would also say that we are all in a very real sea of energy, and we can at times perform what seems like miracles, such as aspects of like healing, and of course astral projection and the rest of them, and the fact that our consciousness is not purely governed by our bodies. That's if I was to say that each and every single experience that I've had has been 110% real and all the rest of it. But I choose to even be skeptical of what I've experienced so that I don't basically go completely mad. We've got to get that balance just right. Otherwise we'll just end up connecting random ideas in a very kind of like paranoid schizophrenic manner and end up unable to function in society. So be careful, keep sane, enjoy your magic, enjoy your ritual, enjoy your spiritualism, and carry on working with whatever powers you are discovering with your exploration. Remember, human skill is variable, results cannot be guaranteed, but have fun.